Welcome to Tech in the Car. In this video we're going to talk about the rumoured Apple glasses. Let's get into it. For several years Apple have been rumoured to be making some special AR glasses. Now, as we maybe get closer to the time that it's going to be announced, there are a few different rumours which seem to have some substance to them. The first rumour, coming from John Prosser, says they'll be out next year and they will be $499 plus the cost of prescription lenses for AR glasses. The second rumour, which is really exciting, I'll save to the end. You probably noticed in my profile photo that I used to have Google Glass. Google Glass was a great idea. It was AR in front of your eyes. You could get Google Maps directions, notifications, you could see reviews for restaurants as you walk by, and it was really cool, but there was one big disadvantage. You needed perfect eyesight to really find them convenient. If you needed glasses like me, it meant that I either had to get prescription lenses for the frame which came with Google Glass, or I had to wear contact lenses. That meant that the convenience and the coolness of those features were overweighed by the inconvenience of having to keep fiddling around with my contact lenses or having to buy prescription lenses. Google Glass didn't really take off for consumers because it was expensive and there was lots of negativity around the camera on the front of it. People were worried they were getting recorded without their permission. So it became a thing which kind of was discontinued by Google. And it now exists in the Enterprise with Google Glass Enterprise Edition. And there's a second version of it for Enterprise, which is used by companies like DHL to scan parcels without having to use their hands, which saves time. Doctors use them and other companies use them too. So in Enterprise it's very successful, but for consumers it doesn't exist. I love my Google Glass, but in the end I returned them because, quite frankly, they were a pain in the neck to use. The functionality from Google Glass essentially moved to the watch, to the Apple Watch or the Android Wear watches that were around at the time. Nowadays, nobody uses or even thinks about Google Glass because they just use other ways to get the notifications. So what could they do with Apple glasses that you couldn't do with Google Glass? That is part of the problem that I see, because there's nothing that Apple can do with their version of glasses that Google couldn't do. Yes, it will be more advanced. Yes, and we'll get into the technology behind it in a second. But the functionality is replicating what's in your watch, and the negatives overweigh the benefits. What are those negatives? Well, let's look at the rumours. The first rumour is it will have an inbuilt display in the lens. So this is a great idea. It means the glasses won't be bulky, they should look like normal glasses. But that means you'll need a prescription version which will cost extra. The rumour is $499 plus whatever the prescription lenses cost. For me, prescription lenses cost between £300 and £400 due to the quality of my eyesight, which isn't great. So that means people will be looking at greatly large inflated sums on top of the cost of the Apple glasses if they haven't got great eyesight. And if their eyesight got worse or got better, those glasses would no longer be usable. They'd need to get another pair. Unless Apple do some kind of deal on changing your prescription, it's not going to be very practical. And then there's the fashion side. People who wear glasses for fashion, maybe they fancy themselves after Tony Stark from the Avengers, Iron Man himself. But generally speaking, that isn't a very large percentage of people. For fashion reasons, it might take off, but it's not going to be very large. So what we're talking about is a very small niche of people who maybe have perfect eyesight, who maybe want to wear these now and again. For Apple, with billions of customers, even that small percentage is enough for them to be very successful and make a lot of money. It'll probably be worth several $100 million, maybe even $1 billion. So there's nothing to complain about there. I would love to have a business which was worth several $100 million. But in the long term, it's not something which is going to take off for that reason. At least not in the first version which has been leaked online. But what about the second version? The rumoured second version that was leaked in a patent. The second version of Apple glasses, which if true would be revolutionary, would be the biggest change and advance since the original iPhone, are self-adjusting Apple glasses. Glasses that can see how bad or good your eyesight is and adjust themselves automatically. So you never have to worry about different prescription lenses. You never have to worry about maybe going to the optician again. That would take a huge chunk out of that part of the market. It would scare all the manufacturers of lenses, and it would make a big difference to everybody's lives, because people who maybe didn't go would be able to see clearer, and people like me who have to keep changing their prescriptions wouldn't have to worry about that. That kind of innovation and revolution would make Apple glasses indispensable and a huge part of the world we live in. Beyond being an accessory, it would be something which people like myself would rely on every day, and that added benefit of that technology would be helpful. It wouldn't be the technology for technology's sake, it would be the fact that it helps fix a health problem, which is what the Apple Watch is very good for doing, helping maintain your health and keeping an eye on your health. So Apple do have a track record of this. Take those glasses, use them to make your eyesight better, to improve your health, and then add in the functionality of notifications and AR, then you're on with a hit. But that is a patent which Apple filed, and it may come to nothing. And there's no reason to think it will be in the first version of Apple glasses, even if it ever happens at all. But fingers crossed that it does, because that would be fantastic, and I'd be really excited by that. I love Apple. I've had every version of the iPhone, including the original one I have now, which looks like a toy compared to the current iPhone. I've got the iMac behind me here, I've got an iPad Pro, I've got the Apple Watch that you've seen. I'm all in on Apple. So for Apple to create something which I don't think I'll want is really unusual and really hard. As things stand, based on the current rumours, no thank you Apple, I won't be buying the Apple glasses. But maybe if you do some of the things which that patent suggests are possible, then you'll be onto a big hit, and then I'll buy it. What do you think of the Apple glasses? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video.